By the way, Aeon X. These are the drop plus Dan Clark Audio mass drop ones, and I fucking forgot that they were so good. And that they were here. But they're so good and they're here. And you belong on my walls, baby. You do. Anyway, we're not here to review these. I've already reviewed these. If you haven't seen my review, go watch them because these are exceptional. We're here to talk about this. An M6pro. I am sick and fucking tired of companies, by the way. M3, M3 Pro, R3, R3 Pro. Make up a goddamn name. I made fun of the Tigers by Beyerdynamic, but you know what? The Tigers are the Tigers. And this is a Shanling, not a Hibby, and not a Fio. It's a Shanling M6 Pro, obviously, because there doesn't happen to be a Fio M6 that a Pro version... All right. This is a not cheap... This is Shanling's biggest thing. Like, physically and, like, emotionally. This is their baby. And it was sent to me by Hi-Fi Go, and they're like, can you look at Shanling's new big thing, and we'll send it to you with the leather case. The leather case, by the way, is like $36, and you absolutely fucking get it. It comes in a nicer box than the actual unit, which kind of threw me off. What does Shanling offer that everyone else doesn't? The lowest power. We're going to start with that, because it's blinding, and I want everyone to know before we go into this, that even at the highest turbo gain setting, at the ideal ohms of 32, this only puts out 600 milliwatts. So that's over half a watt. That's not bad. But at 32, that's maybe 60. I'm struggling a little bit on a few of these headphones. So I know the M15, which I have here. Oh, fuck. Oh, it doesn't look much. It's actually, they're the same size. Actually, the M15. Oh, I'm gonna have to pull this out of the leather case. I have to know. I have to know exactly because I haven't put them side by side before. I want to know which one's bigger because my E-peen requires the knowledge. They are fuck off identical in height. I think. Yeah, it's slightly narrower, the Shanling, but I mean, it's like, is that like is that like a spec that they have to make it exactly that height? I'm going to tell you right off the bat. Feel? Shanling takes the fucking M15. M15, like I said, it's very expensive, but it has a ton of power with that crazy over-ear headphone mode, and it sounds like it's worth its cost. This is half the cost of this. So let's put this down. Let's talk about if this sounds like it's half the cost of the M15. Not really. This thing is beautiful. Like, Shanling has outdone themselves with just... It's not... I love Techmoan, because he loves to go back and talk about how mini-disc players were like these complicated things with doors and buttons and sliders, and now it's just black squares that are phones and players. And so there's a little... Once you get into these high-end ones, these like over $500 ones, you really can see a little bit of that like style coming back. Like with this metal this is. It's not quite silver. It's like a gray silver, but it's not gunmetal. And they've got this little notch out for your hands. And there's your power LED. And then this volume knob just... And that's also your screen button. Unless you don't want to turn that on with that, then you double tap the screen. New firmware makes it do that. And that needs to be on every fucking player. Because I'm about to review... There's another one over here. Buried down there is a... Ibasso, and the button's on top to turn the screen on, and you have to like you're holding it like this, and then it's like the button's here, and then you put the screen on. So to have it just double tap the screen to wake it up, you can't double tap to turn it off, obviously, because you're doing things, but you push that to shut it off, or you can push that to turn it on. I mean, it doesn't make a fucking difference, but it's like beautiful. The buttons have they're all three are concave. The center is larger for play, pause, next track. The micro SD card has a cover. So it's at least it's not one that you have to push in like with a special tool to pop it out like it's a phone. I hate those. Those are dumb. Like the M15 has that. Where are you? There. Why? Why do you have that? I don't want... Why can't it just be the one you pops in and you still see the card? I mean, this you have to like pry open. I haven't seen one of these doors on something in a while, like a micro SD card. And it's actually a sealed door. It's got a rubber surround around it. So, I mean, maybe this is a waterproof unit and I haven't read it in the manual that way. Doesn't seem very sealed. Oh, by the way, the glass slightly curved off the edge. And the back glass, this is glass, by the way. Look at the frosted with the mirrored logo Shanling in the back, and it's like blue. It's inlet. It's the exact same shape glass in the front and back, but the back is a frosted blue. Look at the scratched up fucking back, and the front's fine, but it's just, this feels like a chunky monkey, and this feels like a piece of art. And it's very hard to do considering they're the exact same fucking size, but I hate your buttons, Fio, and you're gonna, And this just feels like I want to hold it all day. And I'm even okay with it's actually just weird having nothing on one side, because I have the M15 and I have this Lutu, which is the other like expensive player that I keep around. And I was gonna either sell this or sell that. Maybe both, or maybe I'll just sell both of those and keep this. But like this, like you got balance on top, phone up top, volume up top. You got the 4 buttons on the side, then you got the SD card slot, and then the charging thing, and then a blank side here. So I guess as long as you could have a blank side. Yeah, there's a blank side here. So they basically just made their blank side the top, and it feels weird. I feel like there should be something there, like a remote control to control things. So it's 1. This unit has 1 negative, and I came out with it first. It's not super powerful. It has, I'll read you some specs. I don't like reading specs, but on the single-ended, because it has obviously 4.4 balanced, 2.5 balanced, and 3.5 millimeter single-ended. Single-ended 32 ohm low gain is 19 milliwatts. High gain single-ended is 47 milliwatts. Ultra high gain, or it's actually not called ultra, it's called turbo gain, is 200 milliwatts on single-ended, and which is not terrible. But we're going to try these. I have not whipped these out yet, so this will be my first time experiencing the T50 or T20s on them. And then when you get to the balance stuff, total harmonic distortion alters just a little bit. It goes from 1 ohm to 2 ohm output impedance. We get less channel separation. It's actually not as, it's got better signal to noise unbalanced and more power, obviously. So it actually has 3 times the power on balance. So if you ever wanted to know why you get something balanced, but those numbers again are 56 milliwatts, 141 milliwatts, and 600 milliwatts at 32 ohm, which means it'll always be less than that. So when I put these in, these are 50 ohm. So that 600 milliwatts is gonna, actually it's not balanced. Yeah, these are fucked. These are fucked. Let's put them in now. Because the Aeons, oh my god, I'm gonna make love to you later. But in like an audio way, not in like a physical, dirty melody way. No. No, nay. So it's an Android-based device. And here's the thing about this particular one. I got this as an advanced unit, and then I waited too long, and now I'm reviewing it. And because I got one that's not international, it doesn't have the Play Store. The ones you will buy will have the Play Store. This one just does not. This one has a weird Chinese Play Store, which I am not going to go to. Sorry, but it is a fully unlocked Android. My biggest complaint with the Fio was the fact that it was using Android 7. And then the Hibbies came out, and they're all using Android 8, and everything's smooth and wonderful in Play Store. And this is using Android 7.11. So at least it's a newer version of Android than that, but still not 8. And that has to do with, there's very, very strange legal reasons that I've read that, like, if you have, by the way, that song, by the way, that I was listening to, by the way, can I scroll that manually? Is from the Rocketeer soundtrack, obviously, and that's When Your Lover Has Gone. So there you go. There's very weird things that Android, which is obviously made by Google, which is obviously an American product, they need to be able to like verify your hardware, and if they can't, they don't let you run the newest shit. And China is filled with Fios and things like that, so it's a process is taking too damn long. So they're just not the newest stuff. That's why the Huawei phones and stuff are usually not the newest Android. Unless I'm wrong, they're always the newest Android. What the hell do I know about phones? I'm going to take... You basically, if you've ever run an Android device, you know how this works. I'm going to shut it off of Prime mode because Prime mode is their like dedicated mode. There's been a couple players that will switch from, you know, you're just in your phone and you're looking at an app and then you can switch back and forth to fuck everything else, turn off all the radios and it's just music. That's what Prime mode is. And it works. I mean, I don't really notice any noise or anything. I'm going to keep cleaning the screen because I have hands. Dirty, dirty. I'm just going to put it on my shoulder like I'm in the kitchen. So it comes pre-installed with Cool APK and APK Pure and Viper Hi-Fi, which don't open that. That's Chinese. And Via, which looks like a Play Store, but it's not. And so the Play Store is buried in here somewhere. I don't have it. I have to get another version. You get the little widget installed, you get the clock, the Shanling logo, which is to load the player, and then when it would dig through the actual menus, it's Android. My Wi-Fi network, Bluetooth, power. You can do PO or LO for line out, which wouldn't matter to those. They don't give a shit. And here's your gain control: low gain, high gain, gain turbo. So it says low gain, it says high gain, and then it says gain turbo. I don't know why it reverses it and doesn't say turbo gain. I'm going to skip audio settings for a second. You get your Android mode switch or, what's the other mode? Prime steak. Fuck, I want a steak now. AirPlay is AirPlay, which you can do I have it hidden. It has gesture mode on. You could put the buttons down, the standard buttons, or you could do, how is it? Hold on, that's exit. That's AirPlay mode. You have an option to turn on dual DACs or have single DAC usage. And I don't know why you would buy a player that's $700 and not have the big selling point of dual DACs be on. But you have that option. USB DAC or storage mode, so when you plug it in USB-C, which USB-C on the bottom, it just fell on the floor. Was it something important? I hope not. When you plug it in, you can use this as a DAC amp. And fuck, I didn't mention that in the BTR3, or I did. No, I did mention the BTR3K. Okay, I'm just trying to remember other things. You get a screenshot button, I don't know why, and a screen off button. I've never seen a screen off button, but if you hit that, it shuts the screen off slightly slower than if you just click the button on the side. That hurts to do. I can't bend my elbows like that. That was weird. Let's turn that back on. So let's go back, and I didn't click the audio settings. So audio settings here. PO or LO, that's fine. I don't know if you could see this. I hope you can. Low pass filter mode, which is this is the filter mode. It doesn't fucking matter to me. I don't care. Gain, you can see turbo, high, low. Single-ended, dual or single, which is I guess the dual DAC. Balance left and right. Boot volume. When you turn it on, what volume do you want it to come on at? That's actually a nice function. You don't want to blow anything up, but you probably don't have to worry about that for most headphones. Max volume at 100%. Can I set this to higher than 100? Like 300? Because that would help me out a great deal. And then you have the wireless playback quality. And I have used this for a couple wireless things, but I mean, that doesn't really tell you about the unit. I was just testing battery life. I'm at 60%. I haven't charged this thing in a week. And I'm not using it every day. I'm using it for 20 minutes, an hour, here, there. And it just runs. It's one of the most efficient portables that, because it's lacking in that power, that insane amount of overdone power, it actually lasts quite a while. So I have it set to default to LDAC sound quality first, then your AirPlay switch is down there. So that's really the end of it. And then it's all basics. It's basic Android. If you're an Apple person, welcome to basic Android. How do I go back? So I gotta swipe. Oh, you got to use the very edge to swipe back and forth. That's why. Using this curved screen. It does come with screen protectors, or at least it comes with a bag that is labeled King Kong Invisible TPU. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So let's put on some music. I'm going to open the default Shanling player, which I've had mixed feelings about. It's very simple. You swipe from the left. You get the options, library update, all songs, high res. Actually, what is in the high res folder? Oh, it's actually just measuring. Interesting. So these are the songs that are 24-bit, I'm assuming. DSF, WAV. I have a WAV file. That's definitely my music. How is this high def? Wow, it is 24-bit. Hold on, I have to listen to the Megalobox soundtrack on these now. I don't even know what I have anymore. All right, we're on turbo gain, maximum volume, single-ended, T20s, or T20 RPs. And they're playing, but I'd probably want more. You definitely would want more. So that's, I wouldn't even call this a failure, because these are not headphones most people would take outside. I mean, I would, I'm me. So let's put on something, let's lower that down. I love that, I really do like, I appreciate the fact, how's this? That when you lower the volume, it's right there and you can just grab it. Like it's like I'm initiating a volume change and then I'm going to make it fucking faster. So thank you, Shanling, for putting that there. Let's unplug these, because so you're out, baby. I kissed you, so you're working fine. I haven't taken these off the wall since I've said they're great. So I think it's time to change that. These are the X2HRs. And they're not that hard to drive, and they're giant, and they're probably not going to be used as a portable, and they're dusty. But we're going to give you a shiz. Oh my God, they're so pretty. Actually, do your colors match? You're almost twinsies. If this was a little bit lighter or this was a little bit darker, that metal would be twinsies. Oh, they're so warm. But that's not a great thing when it's humid out, but it's... Oh, I was like, wow, that doesn't sound very loud for 100. We're at 43. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so a normal headphone, which I would count these X2s as a normal headphone, will get loud. Will absolutely play loud. Let's change tracks. Oh yeah. I have to go into, obviously, sound quality of this unit compared to the other ones, like the M11 Pro, this paw. I think the paw sort of sets a line that I had to see everything cross. Because this was like $1,100, and it's probably still out there. I haven't checked in a fucking long time. Because it's like, it did so much stuff, and then the M15 came around, and you can't touch it because it's also glass on both sides, and it's like, oh, don't touch it. But this was the benchmark for sound quality, portable. The M11 didn't beat this. I love recommending the M11. It's $400. It's got 2 SD card slots. It's not super big. It's a little bit bigger than this, but not as thick. I love the M11. It's back there. I didn't take it out. Because the M11 is beaten in sound quality by the Bluetooth. And then this, the M15, came out and beat the Bluetooth in power over that. And it sounded pretty much just as good, or even better when you put it on that crazy high-end mode and had hard drive headphones. Then I did the Hibby R6, which... Are you in here? Oh, there it is. I can see it. It's purple. Then this heavy son of a bitch came out. And it was smaller than the M15. My God, I'm going to have so much to link. But way cheaper. And did just as good a job of playing things back. And now we have this, which is jumping the size back up and is not as powerful as anything that's come before it. But I love the way it sounds. So now I would have to legitimately plug in the same SD card into every fucking one of these monsters. What's in this? What are you even? Do you want to join the fucking party? What are you, an M9? You're the little Hibby. You're the 5. This is actually the most powerful of the whole table, I think. I think this is like 1 watt, at least 1 watt. So just... I really need to yard sale some stuff, don't you think? However, then I wouldn't be able to point at things. Going from memory, which is what I've had to fucking do because I can't keep turning things on and swapping SD cards and putting more SD cards. This feels the softest. Like I remember the M15, I just did it. And the Hibby. And the Hibby had its problem of being like 7 pounds, which is like, I love that quality feel. And it has the newest Android. So now it's like, if we want to go by based on feature sets alone, the Hibby probably beats this, just because it's got the newest Android. But this battery lasts way longer than the other three, just all three. I know that, because we're now at 59%. I started this review at 60. The screen's set to never shut off. And it's not even on its it's not on its brightest, but I've used a lot of these players that are just like, they look like a fucking countdown tape timer for an egg. The M15 is, I'm almost afraid it's going to die all the time. Because you got to put it on that high-end mode, and at that point it's literally counting down the percentage, like 1% a minute. Like it's that sort of level of holy fuck. And this doesn't care. This just doesn't, for battery life almost alone, I'm going to recommend this. Album, artist, genre, playlist, folder, Wi-Fi transfer, UPnP, sync link, which will let you sync to other devices that have it on it. If you dig through the settings, you get some basic, hold on, let me pause this. I love those buttons too. Like, yeah, your buttons win. You have terrible buttons. You have okay buttons. They're nice. They're nice and knurled. This feels like the newest one. How about that? It feels like all these are last year's model. Even the Hibby R6, which is, I fucking love this thing. The weight, though, the weight. I don't know, if I had to pull one out and just use it or show somebody, would it... This is why my job sucks. Oh, Zeus, you're complaining you can't have to pick between $1,000 portable players. Yeah, I do, because someone out there is watching this to make their decision. And I don't want to fuck that person up. It's my job to fucking struggle with this shit and try to chew up all that I know about all these fucking players and players that I haven't even pulled out and go, well, why don't you get a Sansa clip and be done with it? Or BTR5 and use your phone. That's fucking wonderful. There has to be a reason to spend $759, I think it's $759, on this particular player. There has to be a reason. And I'm trying to get my own head around that reason. Because there's something about it, whether it's not having the headphones come out of the top, which I really am not a fan of top-out headphones, and all three of these are top-out, and this is the only one that's bottom-out. And I love that. I said, oh, in the Hibby one, oh, but if it comes on the top, it doesn't matter because it's so heavy. Excuses. I love bottom-out. I love to bottom out. Don't turn that into a dirty thing. Sleep timer, resume timer, folder skip, LHDC hardware acceleration. Do I want that? I'm putting that on. I feel like that should be on. Why did it unpause when I did that? EQ. The EQ is actually decent. It shows you a full graph of what you're doing. And then you scroll over and you have, well, where's the scroll? There you have, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? 8 or not? 8. Only an 8-band EQ? That can't be right. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I'm me. Well, I'm going to shut that off anyway. I don't want to play with the EQ. Off. The screen is actually very sensitive. I'm just super dry today. I'm sorry. I don't lick my fingers. I'm trying to keep the screen clean. Theme, black or white. Those are your two choices. So not a lot in the way of like, well, what am I playing with? Oh, God. Oh, God, it's so bright. It's so bright now. Whoa. These headphones. Oh, yeah. How did it get so much louder just now? Like, it is fucking... Was that hardware acceleration thing holding it back? Hold on, I gotta check something. That just got like insanely much louder and I didn't do much to do that. I want to see if I'm crazy. Because I've only had this thing, I've had it for like 2 weeks, but I've only been using it for like 4 days. And then it was just an update today, so... That's not bad. That is louder. I have somehow magically made this output louder. Hold on. No, it's not that. Maybe the light theme does it. Maybe it assumes the black theme is nighttime. I can't keep playing the same song. I have to get it to shuffle all. What is it doing? Oh, wait a second. Pause. There's, what's it called on this? Replay gain. And if replay gain is on, what it'll usually do is lower everything down to be the same level. But that can lose like 7 or 8 decibels. I didn't see it just now, though. It would be in settings, unless I'm thinking about another player. Because I have been dicking with several of them. Because now it's actually working. By the way, we're at 57%. I literally only have 2 songs. All right, hold on. Please wait. Please wait. Zeos is doing these all live. Fuck it, we'll do it live is my whole mantra. Beastie Boys. Song for the Man, Sure Shot. Railroad. Rhymin' and Stealin'. You gotta go Rhymin' and Stealin'. Wow, I'm actually... All of a sudden, these sound more. Maybe it runs on compliments. You are a very pretty little boy. Maybe I shouldn't make it a little boy. Well, it's better than a little girl, right? Well, whatever. She's wearing a blindfold. She can't tell what's going on. All right. I have to lower this now, and we're gonna put on one more. I might have to go back to those because those. What did I do? I'm going to watch this fucking video and see if I did something. All right, we're now going to switch to balance for the first time in this video. The headphones that I have here, I've mentioned them in another video recently, and I'm going to mention them fucking again because the One More Triples, or the Tridents, or these are a dual driver with a bass radiator, and they're great and can't change the pads, and people hate the pads, but they're one of those portable headphones that you wear for 30, 40 minutes. You take them off because they're uncomfortable, but my God, that 30 minutes. Holy shit, it's so loud. I'm turning the gain down to high. I'm turning the gain down to low. Wow, I may have to restart this video. I'm not going to because I'm so glad I started this video off saying everything's like oh so quiet. What just happened? Because now this review is gone from, well, maybe it feels the competition and it's literally better. Because you watched me do things and I didn't do much. But now, after a week of listening and all day prepping, I have to change my opinion live. Because it's more interesting if I do that than just, I'll just shut the camera off and I'll restart. No, because all the points I made were valid. Up until this fucking moment, now that it's got like 70% more power, now that could be, oh, something's broken on the inside of it and it's just clicked on. Or magic, or, well, more like magic. But now, the little bit niggling things in my head, they were like, well, yeah, it's great, but this has more power, and this definitely has more power. I don't hear that more power anymore, boy. God, I love these headphones, too. They're so clear with that 10 millimeter ceramic tweeter. Is it not shuffling? Hold on, I have to make it shuffle. Shuffle. Out of the case, this is one of the nicest to hold. It might even be nicer to hold than this. I love the feel of the stainless steel. I've said that. I'll say it again. But then I see it and it's nothing but fingerprints, and this will never be fingerprints. Even the back being frosted glass. Look, you get a couple fingerprints over the like the metallic with the mirrored logos, which are, but you don't get this or this. You don't get that. So I very much approve of Shanling's choice to go with frosted glass in the back. I gotta switch back. I gotta go back to this. I love these. what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slide it back into its case, which is a Shanling case. Life is short, play more. Shanling design for M6 Pro. Even the color of the leather case is like fucking nice. Usually I get them from DD Hi-Fi, but this is actually a Shanling case you have to buy separately with the stitching all around it. If this continues to play as loudly as it is, with as much quality as it has, I'm probably selling at least 2 out of these 3 because I don't need them anymore. See, here's the thing. I get all this shit for free from companies or websites. They're just like, here, try this shit. Put it on your channel with 190,000 people. Which takes me out of the mindset of someone who's worked hard to gather this chunk of money to spend it wisely. I just have this shit. Nothing here emotionally means anything to me. And as much as that sounds like a fucking humble brag, you want me to not give a fuck about how much something costs and tell you which one I love the most. And having lived with the Loot 2 and being like, oh, I really love that thing. It's good. And then the M15 is like, well, I kind of have to keep it because it has that mode. And then the Hibby is like, oh my God, this brick. And it's got the newest Android. And this is obviously the one I'm going to keep forever. And I still like holding it. But there's like that car you sit in and all of a sudden the seat fits you perfectly. And the shifter is exactly where you want it to be. And I'm going to do more players after this. Not today, but... Oh, please don't be super loud. What happens when nothing's playing? Oh, wait a second. This might be a bad plug. There we go. Nope. That's weird. Why do you no make sound now? No, that's it. Game over. It's garbage. Throw it away. Double check the balanced actually is still running. Which one are you? She's no longer playing sound. Believe that shit? These are Z reviews for you. This is a Z review. I'm going to restart this. I'm going to hit reboot. And we're going to do that. And we're just going to make sure it comes back on and works fine. Because now we're going to... You're not even at the review. You're in the process. You're in the fucking process with me. I have to brainstorm why I like these players and why you should own one of these instead of this. And then my brain has to say, well, why should you own this instead of one of these? And why should you even spend any money up here at all? Because I've always had a thing for like expensive players, like high-end players. Like, where are you going? These make sense for someone who is traveling from a place to a place. This is not something you have just on the bus. I always use the bus metaphor. So if you're on the bus, I would highly recommend something that's cheap and breakable and you can get fucking fingerprint grease on. That was fast, by the way. That was a very fast restart. Open the app. I would highly recommend something cheap. Did it not find my music? Oh, there we go. All right. That's playing. Let's go back to you. Where'd you go? I wonder if I shorted it out. Like I said with other things, when you plug them in real slow. Is it quiet again? Well, hold on. Yeah, I'm on low gain, and it's getting loud at like 70 out of 100. So high gain. Yeah, no, it kept the loud volume. Let's get off of System of a Down. And that. Yeah, okay. So we experienced a hiccup. I have to tell you about this. Let me prepare for the review. Yeah, so once out of the 24 times I started this thing up, she just stopped playing music and I had to restart it. Is that a end game failure? No, hell no. Not a... Are you kidding me with Android bass players? Belly laugh from me. These things have so many quirks. I don't love Android bass players because usually there's no reason. If you're dedicating your shit to having... Like, if you're going this far for music, if you're willing to buy basically a top-of-the-line phone that doesn't have phone features, just plays music, it doesn't fucking matter. All that shit doesn't matter. It doesn't need to have Android. It doesn't need to have a calculator. It doesn't have the Play Store. Like, I have the Play Store in this. I have everything I need in this. Do I have a messaging app on it? No. Do I have a custom wallpaper on it? No. I mean, me personally, I don't have reasons to. I put this in the shelf, I pull it out when it's time to look at it compared to something else. That's its job. You're a paperweight 99% of the year. But if you're going to live with something every day, you're eventually going to want those features. You're going to want to be able to load apps. You're going to want to be able to do things. But getting back to what I was saying before I ran to the restart mode. Hold on. I'm falling back on low. I'm going to have to lick my fingers because it's being... It's so nice. It sounds so nice. I'm just going to keep saying that because that's... What's keeping me here is that they sound so nice. These all have... You're asking me to pick winners here amongst fucking titans. The Loot 2 maybe started it, and it's a little bit of the oldest of the group, but this doesn't run Windows. Or, I'm sorry, Android. Nothing runs Windows. Could you imagine a Windows phone player? Here, I'll load up this sample for you, which takes like seconds to load. Boom. If you hate Android, you're going to buy the Loot 2. Because we're here. There's no SD card in there because I took it out because it's sitting on a shelf. 39%, I should charge it up to 60-ish. This is where you go if you just don't want Android. Because look how fast, on and off. Any other one of these is going to take 15, 20 seconds to turn on. In fact, we'll just run through the gamut. Got the blue light. It's going to say FIO. Is that normal? That like ring around it? I don't remember it having that before. Did I fuck the screen up by having it on the shelf? Doesn't look like it has anything there. Preparing for checking for errors. Born for music. So here we are. We're back. Scrido. So it's not terrible. Oh, it's still at 90% battery. That's pretty good. Big screen, too. I mean, they both run like... Well, actually, if I move to the top of that screen to the top of this screen... Yeah, the FIO's got legitimately... all the like a thumb's width more screen. So, do I tell you to get this one because it's got the biggest screen? Probably not. I don't think there's a loser amongst these. That's what I do. I come into all these videos going, oh shit, I gotta tell people why they need to buy this and not those. Why? I think all I have to do is the Doug DeMuro like quirks and features. I can give you my opinion on what I think I would own and why I would own it. But at the end of the day, you people are going to be the ones that have to live with this thing. I'm assuming you're not me, and you're not going to be buying or getting 4 fucking expensive players just to shove on a shelf. Oh man, Zeos is so lucky. He has so many players he doesn't use. Yeah, great. Fucking wonderful. I'll try to trade these for a mortgage in the future. Which actually is possible if I just sell them in the yard sale. I love these headphones. Yeah, no, I guess the best... Yeah, my fingers are just real dry. I guess the best praise I can give to this thing is I'd have a hard time picking anything else over it because this is more expensive, this is more expensive, this is slightly cheaper and has more features, but I think this holds its own at least with that. And I'm honestly a Shanling fanboy. A little bit. Shanling made the little M0 and the M1, and I really like those, and I always wondered what would happen if they made something better. And I never got to that mid-range stuff, and now I've got fucking this. This shit. This thing with the weird box with the cut that goes up and down for no reason than to confuse me when I opened it. This is like, okay, try this one out. So I've skipped a lot of the little things. And I really, really like the way it sounds. 53%, by the way. 53. We've lost 7% during this. How long is this review? 44 minutes? 44 minutes and 45 seconds right now. Wow, that just did a thing in my left ear from LA Woman. You could switch between these things, by the way. Lyrics. None of them have what this has with the VU meters, by the way. I just want to point that out. Because that honestly is something that made me keep the Lotu, is that it has VU meters when you play music. You could set it to that. None of these other ones do. So, I mean, they're all garbage. Get the Lotu. No, I really, really like this Shanling. It has no flaws. Period. I was going to say it has no flaws fatal enough to mark it out. Like, I haven't gotten one of these high-end players that's garbage. You know when I do a review and something is bad, ooh, they fucking get it. They keep sending me these things, and it's not like, oh, I'll just shill this today. I have to sit there and have to use it. And I'm looking for something to complain about. And if I don't find it, then the consumer has won, because that means that you can buy any one of these four. Or the Lutu's probably not sold anymore. It's been over a year. What keeps sliding off my lap? Probably this wire. Any one of these will satisfy you. If you're looking in the higher end portable player, if you're willing to spend over $1,000, here are your two options. Honestly, the M15 is still the king with the over-the-ear fucking headphone mode, the high gain mode. Not just high gain, but high current mode. But it eats batteries. You basically get like 3 hours to 4 hours max if you're really pushing it. And you'd only buy this if you're really pushing it. What's the point of carrying on this chunky monkey for all that power if you're using IMs? This one, with its more delicate low gains, would probably be the ideal IEM one. In fact, I have a couple very, 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 very critical tuned expensive IMs with stainless steel connectors that are not balanced. It's fine. That I'm going to be putting, and this is what I'm going to use. I'll use this or the BTR5. Those are going to be my two things, because I haven't pulled out a portable player to test IMs in a while, because I haven't like trusted one to just be like, this is probably the one I want. I'll use this one. Now I got to do that Ibasso, and that's a cheap one. That's like $400. The cheap one. So that's going to have to go against the M11 directly. And let's hope that it at least holds its own, because the power button thing is annoying. And also the scroll wheel thing, it has a grinding issue. But I find no fault in this unit, except for that one time where it stopped playing music and I had to restart it. That's it. And it's using an older Android. But like I fucking said, I don't care. I made a big deal of it for the M15 because it's like $1,300. This is only $750 on Hi-Fi Go. So, I mean, I'll let it slide, I suppose, as long as it plays the most modern formats and the firmwares keep getting updated. It's another thing. The firmware on this is real easy. You click that. It's like update firmware, checking, no firmware found. The end. How do you like that? User guide, it actually is pretty decent as far as like that. You have to dig a little bit to find it on the FIO. So yeah, I have nothing but praise for this unit, and I'm honestly awestruck just by the build quality of it. The FIO is not this nice to hold. The Hibby sort of like won me over because it was like a giant chunk of metal. But I think the actual design, I think this wins. I think the glass and the outcrops and the way the buttons feel, and they're in that hand and you could do this, or they're in that hand and you could do this. I think this wins. I think this wins as far as like actual manual holding usability. I like this the best. And it doesn't look shitty in this fucking peanut butter leather. Oh, that's leather. That's real leather. Oh, God. Yeah, no. Something about the width being slightly narrower than this, and the weight's just right. It's not crazy heavy, but it doesn't have. It's not too light. The M15 is bulkier feeling. I don't know. Look, it's hard to. This is like touching a breast and defining one breast. Like, well, it's soft yet firm, and the nipple is in the right spot. Like, I can't do that. I mean, I'm doing it right now, but I can't. Here, buy this instead. This is a DD Hi-Fi USB-C portable DAC amp. Check that thing out. Linked in the description. That's the smallest thing I'm ever going to review on this channel, I hope, because anything smaller and I won't be able to fucking find it. So instead of buying all these, go out and buy this, plug it into your phone, and this will make your phone a DAC amp, and it's actually machined. I'm gonna put this back here now because I literally will lose this if it isn't hanging in my visual range. I'm done. I'm done. 52%, by the way. 8% for this whole video. While playing and swapping and high gain and low gain and restart. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them below. I'll try to answer them. If you have any input on this and how I should maybe restructure these tests, put it in this thing below. I probably won't do it because I'm Zeos and I just do what feels right at the time, which is something that most politicians do, but they get in a lot of trouble for it. That wallpaper, if you'd like to download that wallpaper, it's in the description of this video. It's also available in a giant archive for anyone who's a follower of mine on Patreon or Subscribestar, because it's just easier to gather them. And then you can go find the original artists who drew that stuff on SauceNow or IQDB, and they all have Pixives and fan boxes and Patreons if you want to follow them and wherever. If you do decide to support this channel and my mad lunatic ravings, so I don't have to keep selling things, because that's another way I could support the channel. I just get things and I just either keep them or sell them in the yard sale from the 1st to the 10th of every month. So if you'd like to purchase one of these, and now I have to sort of like, oh, fuck, which one would I sell? It wouldn't be you. I really have a thing for you, even though you're the new guy, and I know there's like, oh, the honeymoon period. But the Lu2 doesn't have Android. See, these are my problems are your problems. If you want to have my problems be your problems, join the Patreon or the yard sale so I could sell you something that's a problem of mine. You also get to see these reviews early by at least 4 or 5 days, up to 2 weeks sometimes, depending on how I'm structuring things. And ask me any questions you want in platform of Patreon and Subscribestar. Usually takes a little while longer to get back to you in there because there's like 70 messages every day. Well, there's like 70 messages in a week, but I only check them every week, so it's like feels like 70 messages a day. And if you want to skip that line, you want to get into my little group on the phone and I can answer you with my voice, $10 will get you into the Telegram tier on either platform. Both platforms have the same benefits, and I'll just talk myself through this shit there. I'm gonna ask those guys because I know at least 1 or 2 people are Hibby guys, and at least a few of them have the M15, and I don't think anybody's got this because it's so new. But I'm gonna see if any of them are super interested and see if they know more than I do, because this is all brand new shit. And these things, everything will be linked in the description, especially these. I can't believe I haven't listened to these things in months, and I feel worse because of it. I think I'm gonna go out like for a walk and take these because these are like the ultimate in just comfortable, open back, portable audiophile crazy person shit. All right, I'm a crazy person now. Anyway, that's it. Sorry for these 48-minute reviews, but I mean, if you wanted to make them shorter, you just would unsubscribe, and then I'd have to figure that out. Or you could yell at me to make it shorter, Zeos. This is a very, very fluid one. This is very fluid. A lot of things. We learned things. We had this just get louder all of a sudden. I don't know, maybe this firmware kicked in. It's things that I don't understand. Like that. I don't understand that. I can't say, oh, well, this is what happened. I could now research it, and maybe if I figure it out between now and the publication, put it in like a pinned comment. Like, oh, by the way, this is why that happened. But I like miracles, so I'm just going to leave it alone. 51%. Screen just running. Just on and running. All right. Done. Done. Thank you all for putting up with me. Thank you. And if you want to put up with me tomorrow, I'll be here. So I'll see you then.